Hi, everybody. It's Michael Angelo Caruso. I thought we'd chat for a few minutes today about creating your dream life. A lot of people desire a dream life. In fact, the only people I know that don't want a dream life are the people who have already given up on the concept. Somehow they got it in their head that they're not worthy of a dream life, or they're not deserving of one, or that their parents didn't have one, their siblings don't have one, and therefore they can't have one. There's some of that going around. I think all of that's crap, by the way. I think anybody can have a dream life. I do think it takes focus. I do think in order to be successful, you have to focus more on success than the distractions to success. Does that make sense? If there was a life recipe for success, and by the way, there is, success leaves tracks. All you have to do is walk in the footsteps of people who have been successful and make it sound so easy. But the reason why most people don't become successful is even if you knew where the tracks were, you deviate. You just stop to go to the bathroom, or you stop to get a candy bar, or you just stop instead of following in the tracks and walking exactly the way the person did ahead of you. It takes a lot of discipline and a lot of focus and a lot of commitment to follow a recipe exactly. And most people don't have it, honestly. So, I'm going to talk for a few minutes today about how this works, how it's worked for me, how it's worked for many people that I have known, how it now works for clients of mine, and how it can work for you if you just care to follow the recipe. It's a paint by numbers thing. It's not to say there aren't some small risks and maybe some things that can go sideways on you, but that's part of the fun of it, figuring that out. It's not a dangerous thing that I'm talking to you about. The idea of living your dream life is not a dangerous thing. You understand me? It's not something you would lose your life doing. It's not like extreme sports where you would go off the side of a mountain and nobody would ever hear from you again. But there are people who would rather go extreme skiing and go off the side of a mountain and never be heard from again and just follow a recipe for financial success and peace of mind and good, strong, solid health, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about this. Now, what inspired me today to talk about this is I'm about to leave to speak in the United Kingdom, which may not be a big headline for some of you. If you've been tracking me a bit, I do a lot of speaking in other countries. But this is the fourth time in 18 months that I'm going back to the United Kingdom to speak. And it was not on my diary 2 years ago to do this. It was not in my journal or my list of things to do. But I did well at an international event where I spoke, and I had 8 invitations to speak in foreign countries as soon as I got off the stage. Like within 5 minutes of getting off the stage, I had all of these invitations. Only one of them was to the United Kingdom, by the way, at the time. So the other 3 happened for other reasons. But I share this development with you because what happens is in a free market economy where you create something of value, people will want more of it. Companies will want more of it. Human beings will want more of it. And people will reach out to you and they'll find a way to access you, and then they'll make you an offer, right? They'll offer you an opportunity to do this. And if you care to make the opportunity happen, it's there for you. It's like picking a piece of fruit off of a tree. Right? Yeah. First of all, you have to be within arm's reach of the fruit. The fruit has to be right. You have to want to eat that fruit in order to pick it. But if all those things are in place, man, this whole success scenario is waiting for you. So this will be the 4th time to the United Kingdom in 18 months. And what's really weird about this, and by the way, I like to travel. So if this isn't your thing, I get it, that this would not be a dream life for you. But I enjoy traveling. Renee enjoys traveling. So this is a sweet spot for us, right? If it wasn't our sweet spot, I probably wouldn't be on the call today bragging with you about it or talking to you about it. And I wouldn't be trying to get it. I wouldn't be smiling when I say, I got to go to, I can't even fake it. I got to go to England again for the 4th time in 18 months, the long face. So I can't hide my joy at being able to take this kind of trip and be paid to do it. I'm not spending any of my own money when I go on these trips. You understand? So if this is the kind of thing that's attractive to you, I get it. But travel may not be your thing. Maybe it's something else. And I thought we'd talk about what it takes to have this kind of thing happen. And also what it doesn't take. We know now that it doesn't, you can't be successful by deviating from the success formula. You can't make amazing chicken soup according to a recipe that works if you keep deviating from the recipe. You understand? So part of, when I talk about this with people, including clients, what I talk about is something called a target, that we're better to aim for a target. This certainly makes sense to you, I'm sure, that you when you're trying to achieve a goal or something long-term, or you're saving money for something, or you want to do something important, you aim at a target, right? The target's like a plan. How long will it take? What kind of resources? Who else will I need on my team? What kind of pitfalls or quicksand might I fall into? I think we look at all that kind of stuff when we do this kind of thing. But unlike most people who actually aim at a target, I insist on something called the bullseye. And the bullseye is the very center of the target, right? Because I know that if I aim small, I'll miss small. It's from the movie The Patriot with Mel Gibson. That if you're playing catch with somebody, baseball, and you're playing catch with somebody, if you aim for the second button on the jersey, not just aim at the person's thorax, but you're aiming at the second button, first button, second button on the jersey. It's called playing catch with purpose. And you get better over time. You're aiming at something very, very specific. And you might throw the ball over here or down here, but if you aim small, you miss small. And this is the idea of the bullseye. And the bullseye in the dream life scenario involves things like where you want to work. Like in my case, because I'm a speaker, I could speak anywhere that they have events. But if you were, had a regular job and you just wanted to decide, I want to spend most of my time in Montana. I don't know, I like big skies. Then Montana is your bullseye, you see? Not Georgia, not Texas, Montana. And you would work really hard to position yourself for Montana because it was so important to you. So where you spend your dream life is kind of important. It's especially important to people in Southern California. You can't talk to somebody in Southern California for 5 minutes without them mentioning how great the weather is. It's really important to them. And another aspect of the bullseye is when. Like, when are you going to work? Are you going to work 40 hours a week? Or is it 20 hours a week? Or is it the 4-hour work week, like Tim Ferriss's book from a while back? Or do you just really like overtime that much that the ideal work week for you is 60 hours a week? Most people that I know would like to work less, get paid more, have more free time, and all these components, just like the chicken soup, all these components of a dream life, these ingredients go into a big crock pot, right? And you're the chef, man. You create your own life. You cook your own chicken soup. And so another aspect of the dream life is who's going to be with you in the dream life. Or maybe it's just going to be you, baby. I don't know. But I find companionship, and particularly companionship with a woman named Renee, is really, really important to me. So everything I plan now, I plan with her in mind. And I'm going to do this the rest of my life. So you have to decide. You want to take your kids, you want to take your doggy, you want to take your significant other, your partner, whatever. You decide who else goes with you in this dream life. And you make sure you have their buy-in, right? Because if there's nothing for them in your dream life, they're not going to want to go. So you have to figure that out too. Also, if money's important to you, and perhaps it is because you need money to buy food and a nice place to live and a dependable car and good health insurance, money's kind of important, then you would decide how much money you would have in your dream scenario. So when I talk to speakers who want to use presentations to move to a dream life, which is a totally reasonable thing to do because presentations are probably the most powerful business skill that you can develop, right? To marshal the troops, to mobilize your team, the ability to motivate and inspire, to capture people's imagination and get them to do what you want them to do. certainly commissioned salespeople have figured this out by now. Team leaders have figured this out by now. You know, you can send all the emails you want, but until you get everybody in the same room and you give them the rah-rah, you know, and I call it the rah-rah with purpose because I don't just believe in happy talk, but you can really get people excited this way. This is how people get elected to be the leaders of their countries, through rallies and personal appearances. So if money's important to you and you want to use presentations to do this, I tell the people that I work with that you have to really get good at it. You know, you have to immerse yourself in it. And it doesn't have to be presentations. It's whatever your skill set is. But what most people don't do is they don't think about the ripple effect. Once you get really good at your core business skill, whether it's accounting or maybe you're an actuary, again, with the numbers. Maybe you're a business strategist or you could be a chiropractor. You could be an architect. It doesn't matter. Whatever your core business skill is, this idea of being able to use the ripple effect, right? So I was in the music business for about 10 years. And one of the things we learned in the music business, even back then, while musicians were still making money doing actual music, we learned that if you were able to create a merchandise program or an online community, and the big thing now is VIP passes, you know, these people that'll pay $500 to come backstage to be with the band for cold cuts and an iced tea. You know, people pay $500, $1,000 for this. And the bands figured it out. They figured, I got to have my cold cuts and an iced tea too. We might as well have these people in a side room where I can go visit with them. And now they're collecting thousands of dollars from this, what we call the 10% culture or the 5% culture, you know, the super fans. And so, you know, what are the ripple effects? And by the way, if you help people, if you're a fan of helping people like I am, then you start to realize too that you could use the media to get to more people, right? So to what extent can you use your message or your platform to get the media to pay attention through things like podcasts or a book that you would write? I mean, it's amazing what can happen once you start focusing and settle into a success groove. Amazing. And I get so excited helping people do this. That's why I do these types of calls, right? So this idea of dedication and immersion is really important. And immersion is this technique that I call ABC, which is always be curious. And I use this technique all the time, whether I'm watching YouTube interviews or listening to podcasts, right? I listen to speakers. I listen to the people being interviewed. I listen to the interviewers. And I try to really zone in on what do they have that's working? What do they have that I can borrow or adapt, not steal? You see, I don't want to be anybody else. I want to be the best me. But I promise you, I learn from everybody I see speaking and presenting, everybody. I learn one of two things. Sometimes I learn both from the same person. I learn what to do, I learn what works, and I learn what not to do. I learn what does not work. And I'm not always able to integrate everything that I learn into my own thing, but I integrate a lot of it and somehow still maintain my style. I still cultivate and curate my own speaking style, which is good because I don't think people want me to be other people. They want me to be my best me, right? It's like I want you to be your best you. So that's why I started this little group on Facebook. It's called the Present Like a Pro group on Facebook. It's free. And it's a chance for like-minded people who are interested in dream life, achieving their dream life. Many through the power of presentation, because this Facebook page, it's loaded with top leaders and salespeople and business owners and professional speakers, you know, people that they know they've got a stripe, a speaking stripe that can help people, and they know they can get paid for it. Either they know it through it's evidential because it's happened already, or they just feel it in their hearts, you know, that this is absolutely workable for them. And then they get in this group. And what happens is when you're with like-minded people is the flywheel starts to spin. All kinds of good things start happening for you. I think it was the great Jim Rohn who said, R-O-H-N, Jim Rohn, he's passed now. But Jim Rohn said, you are the sum total of the 5 people you hang around with most. So if your dream life involves being a speaker or a presenter of some sort, you need to hang around with other speakers and presenters. Now, I do think you get diminishing returns on this. If you hang around with those types of people too much, you're going to pick up all their bad habits. You know, you're going to become like everybody else. And I don't want you to do that. Again, I want you to be unique and distinct and be the best version of you. But this concept of playing with people who are better than you, whether you're learning to play chess or the trumpet or become a presenter, this idea of hanging around with someone who can show you the ropes or help you up the ladder, right? Or back to the outdoors analogy of help you up the mountain. It's an amazing shortcut to success. And I can't understand why more people don't do it, especially when people are available to you. I'm available to you, right? And don't worry, I will not take you on as a client. I will not spend time with you if I don't think we're a good fit. I'll refer you to somebody else. If you don't have what it takes to achieve your dream life through presentation skills, I'll even tell you that. I'll save you years of time. But a lot of people do have this ability, and I think that unfortunately you're delaying your own dream life. You delay your own success. And even more troublesome than that is you're delaying success for the people you live with and the people you care about, because you won't focus on success. You keep getting distracted by the things that pull you off the trail. I just had a phone consult this morning with a very talented man who's got a special skill. I don't need to tell you exactly what it is, but suffice to say that he does what his real specialty at this stage in his life is street performing, right? And he wants to get into corporate events where he would kill. He would be excellent. And I said to him, well, let's get started, man. I mean, we had rapport. He understood everything about me. We liked each other. And I'm like, let's get started. I figure, I've signed up hundreds of clients, thousands of clients through the years. I figure this guy's a no-brainer. This is a done deal. I said, let's get started. I'll start on Monday. And he says to me, I can't. And I said, why not? And he said, because although the summer season has ended, he lives in North America, the summer season has ended. I'm off to New Zealand and Australia to do their summer season. And I said, well, that's interesting, because you just told me you wanted to move into corporate events where you could get into your dream life, but now you're going to delay that so that you can go to New Zealand and Australia. He says, well, I have commitments there. I said, okay, I get that. What happens after that season in Australia and New Zealand? Just to test his theory. And what do you think he says? He says, yeah, well, I'll come back to North America, and then the summer season starts for 2019 here. And I just shook my head. He says, what's the matter? I said, you're on the treadmill, man. You're on the hamster wheel. And he slowly nodded his head, and he said, yeah, I guess I am. I mean, I said, let's review. You want to move from where you are now to your dream life. Somebody's handing you the golden ticket to get to that dream life. And you're saying, I can't. I got to stay on the hamster wheel longer. And in his case, at least another year. I mean, I don't know when he has the courage to break that chain and actually make the move. I think he has the ability to do it now. But that's not uncommon. I often believe in my clients more than they believe in themselves. It's okay. This is how it works sometimes. So I want you to sign up for that Present Like a Pro Facebook group if you're so inclined. You can find it easily by going to Facebook, just searching Present Like a Pro. You'll find us quickly. If you don't find it, you can message me and I'll send you there. And if you don't want to delay your dream life any longer, if you want to get started with the Bullseye and you're interested in success now as opposed to later, there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I'd be happy to talk with you about it. It's a free consult. I can't take everybody that wants to do this into my schedule. My schedule is not that expansive, and I'm still traveling and speaking myself. But if you'd like to get in line for a consult, and tell me why it's important to you, right? You're going to fill out a few questions to tell me why, and then I'm going to prioritize who I want to work with, right? You can go to this website. It's www.untitled www.michaelangelocaruso.com/talk. Pretty easy. michaelangelocaruso.com/talk. And then we'll get on a call and see if we're a fit, see if I can at least get you some clarity and get you pointed in the right direction. It's okay if we don't work together. I just love giving back. And if we can get you pointed in the right direction, it'll be a victory for both of us on that very day that we speak. And if something else happens, that's fine too. But I want you to be successful. I want you to have your dream life. You deserve it. You've waited long enough. Don't delay it anymore. I hope this has been motivational for you. I hope you have some interest in making things happen. Let me know what you think in comments, and I'll see you later on Facebook and also on the call if you care to do that. We'll see you later. Thanks, everybody.